And we're back, part two. Yes, Julianne is like the sassy queen of the of the office, and but he doesn't overplay it. And I find his character refreshing, honestly. And to counterbalance him is, what is his name? Hold on a second. Luke, played by Bruno Gowry. I think he's, I don't know, he works like images, I believe, for Savoie. And at first, yeah, they're both kind of on their thing. They wanted to actually kind of even push her out, make her feel uncomfortable so she'd go running back to Chicago. But, things don't pan out that way. And they become, if anything, one of her closest colleagues. And it's funny about how this show works, because there are instances where you're met with how, yeah, how brazen American culture can be, and how, and it doesn't matter. You could be as young as Emily, or as, mature as the mature characters here on the show. It's an emboldened way of thinking, where you think that um, the way that Americans think is the correct way, always the correct way, and regardless if it's rude. A lot of Americans too, when they travel, forget to mind their manners, and that the world does not function like the United States on a global sense. It does not. You have to have manners. You have to introduce yourself. You can't just you can't consider yourself like a bull in a china shop and then expect for people to provide you a service. And it takes Emily a sec, for her to kind of get herself well acquainted of that notion. You kind of have to leave that way of thinking. Not that it disappears; she's still very much there, and at times, yes, she is very obnoxious. But yeah, reminiscent nonetheless of Carrie Bradshaw. That those scenes that we got of Carrie Bradshaw when she visits Paris. And yes, that very French way of living your life and manure in the street and whatnot. We get a handful of that. And then, yes, we get to see her indulge as she gets better acquainted in Paris with the food. And the fresh perspective on this, and I'm sure the show Younger must have had instances of it, but I can't say I've watched that show. She's very big on social media, and but I will say, to her credit, she is very smart. Look at that. Dollop. Nutella, honey. But yes, she has these instances where and the food on the show, the fashion on the show. I'm going to indulge a little bit. Hold on, s'il vous plaît. Excuse me. But yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the show with a nice croissant and a nice chocolate glaze. But nonetheless, as she's getting better acquainted, she is able. At first, she's lonely. Her boyfriend sucks. Totally, it's like my way or the highway. He wasn't going to come to Paris. He refused to leave Chicago. There are people like that, men like that. So she wasn't about to now sacrifice. That's what I did like. She was not about to sacrifice her career over no damn dude. So she stays in Paris and she tells him, F you. It wasn't working out. With the times that they would actually FaceTime each other, it was a mess. She couldn't even like have sexy talk with him. Waste, and he was not cute, sorry. So she becomes better acquainted, and she finds Mindy Jen, who is our American import as well, but her nationality is Chinese, and she's technically an heiress when it comes to zippers and accessories. Her father is the zipper king in China. I think her mother's Korean. So we have a multifaceted, multilingual character, and she is charming. I've seen her in other shows. I think, hold on a second. She's showcased herself in other TV series. She was in Tales of the City, which was a revamp because I remember watching that series on PBS years ago. Like I think mid '90s, 2000s or something. And Olympia Dukakis was on that show, and she was still that. I think that honestly, that when they revamped it, they brought her back, and I think that was her last acting job before she passed. But oh, Olympia Dukakis, if you know Steel Magnolias and Moonstruck, what a talent. Nonetheless, she was in that show, and I remember she was also like a social media influencer, and she had chops. She had to do like, she was doing some like artistic duo thing where it required singing. So she has a beautiful voice. But in the show, she had choked. She had done like one of like these um, American, what is it, American Idol, but you know, foreign for like China, and she totally ate it. She choked, and then she, once they connected the dots and realized that she was, you know, connected to her billionaire father, she was like, I can't show my face, you know, ever. My father is humiliated, and I can't return to the States. So she takes on a nanny job, um, you know, where she's teaching French kids Chinese, Mandarin. And she happens to bump into Emily when Emily's going through her little woes. She feels abandoned by her boyfriend. She encourages her to date. They go into a nice, cutesy restaurant. And we realize in the restaurant, which is not too far from where Emily lives, and mind you, the views are breathtaking, beautiful, very Moulin Rouge. And she stumbles up for her being, you know, her American self and demanding that she get her steak, you know, better cooked. She wanted it medium rare. She didn't want it rare. And the chef comes out to explain to her that it's prepared to perfection because it's more savory that way. It's more juicier that way. To reveal that the chef is her neighbor, Gabrielle, whose real name is Lucas Bravo. He is gorgeous. So I will say this: there's a bit of eye candy. I can see the allure. I really did not want to, you know, like it. Honest, if you want me to be perfectly honest, I'm like, it was the same way with You, which I have to review as well, the show You on Netflix, and I did find myself liking it. Maybe because it's familiar, maybe because it's something that we've already seen. Simply, just Darren Star knows how to write for TV. He just does. He has the chops. He's had the chops for decades, and that's why people want to be on the show that he creates. And he created it. This is not even based on no novel or, you know, somebody's essay. This is all written by him off his dome, created and written. And you know, I'm sure they're showrunners, but it's sexy, it's fresh. And what we did not get from And Just Like That, I'm sorry, Michael Patrick King, but that was a big dud. That and Just Like That, you like lost the sexy in that show. I'm sorry, I really wanted to give y'all huge support, but everybody dogged it. And it wasn't because I'm trying to get on no bandwagon, it just was not there. You were dragging it. There were few interesting characters, but they just, you know, they were just like, they could be throwaways, except for Seema, who had potential. And not for nothing, here's the connection between And Just Like That and Emily in Paris. Okay, so we have, not aside from the hot chef, excuse me, we have Antoine Lambert, who is, his real name is William Abadi. Again, don't crucify me. He is this incredibly gorgeous, mature man. I would say, what, in his 50s or something? Gorgeous. he has a perfume company and obviously works with Sylvie to get his marketing done to perfection. He's been with the company Savoy for a long time and under some kind of discount, price, to only reveal that they're lovers. But our Antoine was big on Sex and the City. He not only played Carrie Bradshaw's Prada hookup, but he also now played Seema's new boyfriend, Brooklyn, I don't know, socialite and media mogul, because he had a number of nightclubs in Brooklyn and just like that. But here now he plays a perfume creator, and they go through a number of episodes. What's considered sexy, what is considered sexist. He's gorgeous, and he's very into Emily, and he lays it on thick. And yeah, a lot of things would be questionable. A lot of things would not fly with HR today, just on borderline sexual harassment. But it's there. The appeal is there. It's super funny, and but the thing is, here's the thing: the man is married, and we see that he's had a number of encounters with Sylvie. In fact, Sylvie is his mistress, and she's okay with that. The way she leads her life, she doesn't necessarily want to be 100% committed to Antoine, but nonetheless, it hurts her when he's always interacting with his wife at these social engagements, and especially when he shows a huge interest for the new girl, which is Emily. He even sends her lingerie, which is going too far. And she recognizes the box because Sylvie always gets, a nice package from Antoine. And then there's this rivalry here. Nonetheless, Emily at least is a smart girl and she does not fall for it. And in the meantime, we see her go through a number of roller coaster situations where she really comes out on top. I will say about that. It's a very smart girl. I think that's the allure. Getting back to our Mindy character, played by Ashley Park, the singing pipes on her, goodness. So she's trying to get her singing thing off the ground. She sings in the park, but just to try it out, she gives up the nanny job and goes to sing at a drag club. But because she has overstayed her visa, she needs now to work the bathroom, and she becomes the wonderful, wonderful title that it will always be tattooed in my brain now, Madame Pipi, which I didn't know that was a thing. Is the lady that works in the bathroom and, always has like the wipes and the napkins and the soaps and the mints, and you tip them. So she has to do that. But there's an instance where she sings a song, I think, what is it called? That new group. There's a whole commercial on them. I'm not up on the game with the new artists today, but she sings that song by them. I think they're Asian too, and there's like 7 of them. Can't think of their name right now, but she sings it. And it's funny because now I was like, oh, that's what they're singing. Okay, because I didn't know the lyrics either. Again, I'm not a big fan, but she sang it beautifully, and again, this beautiful like half very Victoria kind of wardrobe, half male, half female. She sings her heart out, and of course, people gravitate to her. These 2 gentlemen who are very interested in working with her say, hey, we can put you in our band. You have great vibes. So only you discover that they're singing like near fountains in the park. But nonetheless, hey, she got a lot of tips and just showcasing her pipes. Now, the reason why Emily is in Paris is because her her real boss, Madeline Wheeler, played by Kate Walsh, is pregnant. So she's had to do a number of things to maintain that presence of the United States for this company, keeping a watchful eye. Sylvie's annoyed by her. And in trying to get involved with the clientele, she comes across a big fashion designer. A big fashion designer who Emily thinks he needs to revamp his, antiquated ways of promoting, who's very reminiscent of like Karl Lagerfeld. He's known here as Pierre Caudet, and his real name is Jean Christopher Beauvais. Fabulous actor, and he really pulls off this, very moody, super sensitive uh, character, and is not impressed. In fact, he calls Emily basic when he finds a charm on her person. They have a very incredibly funny encounter, and he does not want to deal with it. No, I do not want any of Savoy, and I don't want this Emily girl. And then she goes out of her way to, court him, basically. And she wears this nice, beautiful getup because she finds out Swan Lake is playing. And she somehow sneaks into his private box, explains to him that, yeah, she could be basic, but, nonetheless, the inspiration is there. And if, you didn't have basic bitches buying your stuff, hello. Because not everybody can afford luxury like that. And she explains that, love came from, her admiration for Gossip Girl. And then he's like, he kind of has a sense of who she is, and somehow he is charmed by her. Unfortunately for the date she was with, who was a complete snob, she, dismisses, like, oh, what am I doing? She had dated that guy just for like a nice, sexy romp. And I will say, this is not family viewing, this show. It looks like that. From like, the first couple of minutes, you would think it's kind of a family friendly show, but not at all. There's a lot of sex in this show, which again, another alert. But because she was swooning over her chef, Gabrielle, to only later find out that he has a girlfriend, Camille Rosette, who her real name is Camille. Wow, no, her real name is Camille Rosette, and she plays Camille. Camille plays Camille. That's so funny. But yes, they casually happened to meet in the street by the florist, who's a little nasty. Again, French. Don't crucify me, y'all. You know what y'all, how y'all act. But nonetheless, yes, they hit it off. She finds out that she works for a gallery. She invites her. And then only to wrap up the evening, they have by chance, a coincidence, and they pass by the restaurant. Emily had done some big thing there, held a big event there, and it was successful. And she finally showcases that she's very attracted to her neighbor, who's the chef. Plans to kiss on him, and then realizes that Camille is his girlfriend. So that's why she got with that snob, and then it just backfired. So soon after that, we're playing the cat and mouse trio here, which is very reminiscent of our 90210 trio of Brenda, Kelly, and Dylan. Tell me it doesn't. Because now, I think Kelly was the one that was going or sleeping with Dylan back in the day behind Brenda's back. And now it's Brenda doing it to Kelly, right? Because we're essentially dealing with brunette and blonde, right? And then this one hot guy in the middle. Nonetheless, what an interesting show. And the way it seems as if Emily is close to leaving towards the end. It doesn't seem like it was going to work out. I think it was based on one account or something along those lines. And then, oh no, the chef was going to leave. The chef was going to leave. She was going to complete her year, but the chef was going to leave because he wanted to have his own restaurant. They were selling the business, the restaurant where he was working at. The owner was willing to sell it to him, but he didn't have the funds. His girlfriend wants to lend him the money, but he doesn't want to be indebted to her family, who has like this champagne brand. It's not meant to be sipped or drank. It's supposed to be sprayed. She does a whole promotional thing on it. And yes, so it looked like he was going to move to Normandy, which is like more of a countryside of Paris. Our gorgeous chef. And it looked like he was on the outs with his girlfriend. So she thought that she was going to lose him. So they have a very beautiful, sexy romp for his last